No, let me come in.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
How's everyone doing today?
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Oh,
Anthony Kelly. Hi, Anthony Kelly.
Man, you guys, we have an awesome show for you today.
Yes, we do. And I hope you got your pens and paper.
Hey, you really got to pay attention to this. Two amazing people.
Yes.
We've invited to share some very, very, very important information with us. And wow, maybe we should do our opening first.
Yes.
Oh, why do we forget that?
Because it's an opening, and every week we forget that we should do an opening because slow brains are functioning in this heat. Okay, ready?
Ready?
I'm ready. Go, you start.
Welcome to another episode of Sunday Bites and Tidbits. I'm Chef Babette. This is my beautiful co-host,
Terrah Bennett Smith.
And welcome to another amazing show.
Tom says, hi, guys. Hi, Tom. Remember Tom from last week? Tom was wonderful.
Yeah, Tom.
Tom was on point.
Oh, my God.
We got to have Tom on the show.
Was Tom the one that was with the cooking show with us? Was that Tom?
No.
Which one was Tom?
Tom, have we met Tom? Type that in there because we don't. We don't really. Have we met Tom? And we have someone from some other country. I'm not exactly sure what this is saying, but it's another hi to you and Kelly. So Tom, so we have met. Okay, no. Yes. Tom, you don't know any more than we do. So you can come sit at the Old Brains Club.
Hey, we got to talk to Dr. Goldner. Yes. And her husband about that brain food.
The brain food. That's
food.
Right. Because you know, and Ashley's here. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, Ashley. What's up, sweetie pie?
Oh, Tom said he's from Chicago.
Hey, Tom.
Hello from Alabama. Michelle is here from Alabama.
What's up, y'all?
We so happy that you guys continue to check in with us, and each week we try to bring you people that are, that'll give you some good information.
Yeah, I'm really excited about today.
I'm really excited today because I know several people who dealt with autoimmune issues and lupus. I know several lupus people who deal with lupus.
I know people that have passed away because of lupus.
Yes. So this is going to be really great. Tammy from North Carolina.
So silly.
So what do you want to say about our guest, Dr. Goldner?
Oh, man, Dr. Goldner.
Now, where did we meet Dr.
We met Dr. Goldner in Arizona. Yes. We were at an event, and it was wonderful, and she was wonderful.
Yes.
And it was like, oh, somebody knows how to help people with this autoimmune disease. Got to keep her in my phone book right here.
And you know what else? She's spicy.
She's cute as a button.
She's a New Yorker, like me. New York.
And then she got a fine ass husband.
Yes, he is pretty fine.
And she's bringing him today.
Yes, he's
it's our first time meeting her husband.
So they're like the cute hot couple who help a lot of people.
They do. And wait a minute. They're a cute hot couple that still love each other.
I know.
Oh,
what you got with that? And probably whatever they're going to help you, what they're going to teach you, they might make you and your couple hot. You and your man a little hot.
You're so silly.
Well, you're just I'm saying that sometimes when you unclog things.
Okay, let's bring our guest on.
Okay.
And guess what, guys? Today, you are going to listen to this couple. What? Oh, okay.
Wait.
So because we don't want to be running our mouths while they're trying to teach.
But Babette made some of her kale chips, guys. We're going to be selling these soon.
Honey, these kale chips.
And my sons, they're not necessarily kale chip guys. So they came and I said, try kale chip. Then one of my sons said, oh, no, I can't eat no more of those. No more of those because I'll eat them all up. No, they're so good.
She had to take the bowl off the table for me. They are absolutely delicious.
Absolutely delicious.
But we'll keep you posted on that.
So we're going to keep you posted on that too. So if you see me chewing, you know what I'm doing.
You know it's kale chips.
Anyway, let's bring in.
Without further delay.
It's Brooke Goldner M.D. and Thomas Tadlock M.S.
But wait a minute. Before you do that, you have to tell them who our sponsor is today.
Yes. And you know what? We were having some technical difficulties. Otherwise, her logo would have been up in the corner. But our sponsors today is Black, Vegan, Social.
Yes.
And we're going to be doing a lot of work with them because we somehow Babette met them.
I know.
And on social media.
Let me just tell you, we need them.
We need them.
Enough said.
So we will at some point today flash their logo so at least it could be up here.
Hey, Gigi.
And we thank them for being our sponsor this week. We were trying very hard to get the logo up. we have a whole new technical issue because our other stuff kept crashing. So we didn't want anything to crash today. So we had to do it from a whole other.
And we're babies at this.
I'm so baby that.
No, I'm even babier than
she's
you.
Babier than me. And don't rely on me. This is every time I get, an update on my phone, I want to have a conniption because
she's having a conniption.
I've got to figure out where my things are again.
It is 6:06. We got to bring.
We're bringing them in. We're bringing them in. Welcome.
Welcome.
Here's the fine couple. Hi, fine couple.
What's up?
You don't need us. We were just enjoying the Terrah Babette show. Like we.
Listen.
You two just keep going.
We have to get this out before the serious stuff starts. I'm so excited for you guys to be here, and thank you so very much. People need this information. We all need it because we're all so sick. We're all so sick. We're dealing with so much. So you guys are amazing. I don't have to ask you why you became plant-based. I'm not going to do that. We're going to turn this over to you, and you handle this the way that you normally would.
Oh wow! Well, first of all,
you got started.
No, she gonna
do your thing.
Either can
I had so much fun when I met you guys in Arizona. Like we had so much fun chatting, but I had no idea what was coming because I had to take the stage after Babette. And you went up there, and not only did you tell some amazing stories, but then you took your shirt off and started flexing. And I have video of this, and I was like, I have to go on after that. So I had to tell them all, I'm sorry, I'm not taking the shirt off. I'm not prepared for any of this, but you were on fire. It was amazing. It was amazing.
And I'm just sitting here realizing I don't know what I just got myself into.
You said when wife tells you to come, I just show up. Wife said, "Come, I come." And
That's
now
what I did. That's what I did.
Now you're going to what? What? I'm fine now, and I'm gonna have all these women hit me up secretly on Instagram. Do not do that, women, because we will come after. Be breaking up happy marriages. Anyway,
I just knew you guys would enjoy him, so.
Yes.
Don't worry, nothing's going down on the DMs.
We love that. We love that. See? You guys need to do a happy marriage, healthy inside, outside seminar.
And we cure lupus.
And we cure autoimmune disease.
Autoimmune disease.
We do a lot of our work together. The whole reason that I'm lupus free today, I was sick with lupus for 12 years, from 16 to 28. When I met him, I was sick. I was sick. I'd already had kidney failure. I'd had mini strokes. I had, arthritis, migraines, and who does not fall in love with this face as soon as you see it, right? So I was in love, like, from the first time I picked him up at the bar. Because I went over to him. He was sitting there all innocent, and I went over there. Hey, do we know each other? You look familiar. Oh yes, I did.
And I said, yes, we do.
Oh, you did? It's really, that's what happened?
Yeah. Oh, I went up to him. Well, I was at that particular place because I was on a first date with someone else. But he was one of those people. You ever have someone invite you on a date and then just be completely condescending, rude? Yeah. And one of the gifts that I learned from lupus, being sick since I was a teenager, is that time is precious. And we don't want to spend time with people who disrespect us, treat us poorly. So I don't need to go on a whole date with somebody who's being rude and condescending. I mean, he was outrageously rude. So I said, you know what? The date's over. I'm not having any fun, and I find you very rude. And so I said, but this place is rocking. I'm going to stay and dance, but I will find my own ride back to my car. Thank you. And then I was dancing, having a great time. And then I went to get some water at the bar, and then he was sitting there, and I was like, well, hello. So
did you catch that? She was on a date with somebody else and then came and picked me up. So I had no idea all this scandalousness was going on at the time. I had to find out about that later on after she made me fall in love with her. But I think, I'm really fortunate that happened. But it's good to know that I was nothing more than a consolation prize at the time.
No, you are the prize.
No,
he
you
needed to be consoled.
And you were the one who was going to be instrumental in, you guys coming together to make her
exactly
and to help.
Well,
to
that's
shape
the thing.
Yeah.
And so when we do our rapid recovery group together, where we help people, we're with them every day for 42 days. Like, they have to deal with us every day. How did you sleep? How did you eat? What's your stress? How's your relationships? What's going on? And their lives change. But really, it makes sense because us coming together was when everything changed for me. One, because I didn't waste my time on someone who was wrong. I gave myself the space to have somebody who was right there, and I would have missed him, right? So he was right there. But yeah, but we fell in love very quickly, and within a month, he's talking to me about marriage, and I had to tell him, I have this disease where I can't have your children. I'm going to become disabled probably by my 40s, and you're going to have to take care of me when I'm disabled before I die too young, which is not exactly a romantic answer to someone who wants to marry you. At 28, I mean, it was a lot.
When she told me that, I died inside. I really did. It was the biggest punch in the gut I ever felt. Here I am. I fall in love with someone who's never made me feel so alive and so at home before.
I'm crying.
And then the next moment I find out that she's going to be dead in a few years. No. Are you kidding me? Really? And I guess it was just an instant, but it felt like I contemplated that for a while in my head. It was such a punch to the gut. I said, well, if it's going to be a short life, it's going to be the best damn life you ever had. I'd rather live a short life with you than a lifetime with anyone else.
Oh, I love you myself, child.
Can we all get married?
Yeah,
Let's all get married.
Okay, so
he really said that, and it was, that if he just would rather spend a short life with me than a lifetime with anybody else. And I was so nervous to tell him about this because I didn't lead with the lupus story. You meet an amazing man, you're not like, hey, guess what? I'll be disabled soon. I was so in the moment with him that I had to be honest about what he was getting into. But when he said that, I was like, oh, let's get married. Okay. All right. Because I'd been planning my whole life for the white coat. Like, that's what got me through chemotherapy and all the medicines and all the pain, was that I knew I had to make my life mean something. I needed purpose. I needed passion. And my family had me very driven that way. My family is Holocaust survivors. And they told me, you wake up free. It's a good day. And you're going to make something of yourself. So, because their family was murdered in the Holocaust. So I always felt very lucky, even though I had to have all these medical treatments. It was better than Auschwitz. I still had an amazing family, and I had freedom, and I went to good school. So I thought, if I could become a doctor and help other people living with chronic pain have better lives, then that would be all the meaning I needed. So the white coat was on my mind, but never the white dress. And he made that possible. So suddenly I went, okay, I want to look great for our wedding. We decided to elope in Maui with just our best friends and our parents. And at the time, he was already really well known in the fitness world, and he was training people who were going on MTV who needed a six-pack in like 3 weeks. So I was like, well, I want to look like that for our wedding because plus, we were living in Pittsburgh when I met him, and we were moving to LA. And I looked okay for Pittsburgh, but I was not LA ready.
Yeah, LA's got a whole nother ready.
Yeah.
LA's got a whole nother ready.
Yeah.
I loved her the way that she was. She didn't need to change anything, but she insisted.
I had to tell him it's not a trap. Because he's like, you're already beautiful. I'm like, it's not a trap. I just want you to help me work out and help me with the wow. He'd been with other women who would set a trap like that, like if you say the wrong thing and then. But at the time, I was vegetarian, but I was a junk food vegetarian. I mean, in Pittsburgh, at the hospital, if you ordered a salad, they would put French fries and ranch dressing on the salad. So even being a vegetarian, oh yes. So it was, if you want to be fat and unhealthy, eat hospital food, first of all. But especially in Pittsburgh. So, I mean, I was not enormous, but I was about size 11. Even though I worked out, I never really lost weight unless I just ate, like, if I skipped meals, I could lose weight, but then it would just come back on, after one meal or something. So he wanted to change my diet to be like those people on MTV, but he had to make changes because I refused to eat meat, and he had people he thought at the time you needed meat for protein, even though he put people on high raw vegetables, omega-3s, water, and I refused to eat the meat part. So
it got people ripped really, really fast. And when I thought I'm gonna have to make this change, it wasn't that hard. Instead of the meat, we had tofu, soybeans. And that was pretty much it. That's all we had to do was just swap out the meat for tofu, soybeans, and eventually we went from fish oil to flaxseed oil, and that was it. The great thing was it worked.
Well, yeah. So in 3 months, I went from a size 11 to a size 3. I was ripped, and
3 months.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He trained the hell out of me, but even more exciting for me was What's that?
You sure you guys don't need like a couple of other wives? Because
other wives?
Like, you gonna be my sister wives? Is this what's happening?
Just like 2 or 3, like 1, 2. We can come.
Babe, we got a bed big enough, like for all of us? Is that what?
We don't have to do with the bed
Oh
stuff.
my
We
gosh.
just do all the other perks. Anyway, I'm just joking.
No one's ever asked before. I never thought about that.
He's got his hands full already. But
Yeah, that's pretty forward. I don't believe we've actually met. Terrah, right? I'm Thomas Tadlock. It's a pleasure to meet you. And Chef Babette, it's a pleasure to meet you too.
They're ready to propose.
If I didn't get the intro out of the way now, we could have done it when we wake up in the morning. That's fine.
Right, now we know. Well, let's jump to, because I know people are wanting to know.
They want to know.
How did you begin the process to heal your wife from lupus? Oh, not her, you guys collectively.
Yeah, I've never healed anybody before. All I knew how to do was get people in insanely good shape really, really fast. And she was the first vegetarian I'd ever worked with. So, like I said, the only changes I made to my regular get ripped quick diet was we swapped out the meat for tofu and soybeans, and we swapped out the fish oil for flax seeds or flaxseed oil and chia seeds, and that was it. I put her on my normal 1 to 2 hour a day workout routine, and she got in insane shape. And then when she finally got
what happened also was within a week or so, because I was now an intern working 30-hour shifts multiple days a week, but I had no migraines, I had no joint pain. I felt really, really good for the first time I could ever remember, when everybody else looked like dog crap. They're all, all the other interns look like they're dying, and I'm just feeling great. I mean, I had the energy to go out to the gym after a 30-hour shift, which is not normal for people who don't have lupus, but I felt that good. And when we were about to leave...
Yeah,
you had lupus at the time?
Yes. Yeah. So then when we were about to leave for our wedding is when I got my labs redrawn, and it had been 3 months because my old rheumatologist retired, and I could only I usually got labs every month, but it was 3 months, and my lupus labs were negative. And that's not normal. I mean, I had lupus for 12 years. I had kidney failure. I had all sorts of problems, but my labs were negative. That was 15 years ago, and I am still completely lupus-free, normal kidney function, no strokes or clots. I mean, I have been entirely healthy. Plus, I was told my cholesterol was high at 20 because of genetics. Nope. Normal cholesterol, actually low cholesterol. Everything changed in a very short period of time. Right when I was finally graduating and became a doctor, where I thought I knew everything about disease, and suddenly diet gets rid of my symptoms. So it was a shock to both of us, really.
So we didn't know it was going to heal her. In fact, I mean, when her blood labs came back near perfect and the lupus was gone, we didn't attribute it to the nutrition or anything that we did.
We didn't even believe it. They thought it was a lab error. They're like, no way, these are your labs.
So we just thought that she got really, really lucky, and we were just going to continue to do what we were doing.
It was like, we just thought it was a remission. That's why I tell people, don't get mad when your doctor doesn't know that that diet can change your health. I am a doctor. It happened to me. And I didn't even really understand it was gone until I got pregnant with our first son, which was 4 years later, because I was told I couldn't get pregnant or it would kill me, it would kill our baby. And I had a healthy pregnancy and I had a healthy delivery. I had a C-section because my son was butt first.
I didn't want us to have a baby.
No, he didn't.
I was so scared about that. She had drilled that into me from the moment that we met, that I cannot have your baby. If I try to have your baby, I will die. It's like an instant death sentence. And so I thought, there might be something mentally wrong with her, because now she's saying, I want a baby, like really bad. I want a baby. I have lupus and I want a baby.
Well, it'd been 4 years of me being really healthy, and I could feel how strong and healthy my body was, and I just really believed that. I would never have done it thinking I would die, because I had a lot to live for, but I had normal labs. I had no blood clots. I had normal functioning everything for 4 years. But I mean, my mother volunteered to carry the baby. My best friend volunteered. He didn't understand that you do that through the doctor's office. He's like, your mom's very attractive. I don't think I could do it. I'm like...
That's wife number 3. Look at your comment. You got wife and mother-in-law.
But
very attractive.
She lost it. But you can convince a man, and so I did get pregnant.
So we had to have a really serious conversation on a red couch, and then
Then I was pregnant.
She was pregnant.
Yes, but even my son was butt first breech. And so they're like, oh my God, between lupus and surgery, the lupus is coming back. It never came back. I felt great. And here's when we finally knew I was healthy, was 9 days after I gave birth. It was my birthday. It was my 32nd birthday. And my mother was with us because we had a newborn. And she said, you know what, he's sleeping. Go out together for just a little bit. I'll call you when he wakes up so you can run back and nurse him. And I didn't know, I hadn't worn regular clothes in 9 days because I'd been in pajamas nursing. I mean, you have babies, you don't get dressed. You just, tops are even optional. You just nursing and then sleeping, right? So I said, okay, I don't know what to wear. And I put on my size 3 jeans that I wore before I was pregnant, and they fit. And 9 days. So that's when we finally realized, wait a minute, this is not normal. Because at the time, he now had the largest boot camps in Orange County, California. He had people who were, he said, I have clients who are women trying to lose their baby weight and their kids are in college. He's like, this is going to be good for business.
Yeah, he's showing
but
you.
That's when we realized that my body wasn't functioning like a normal body. I was, the pregnancy weight, I gained, 40 pounds. It was gone. I had I had lupus, but it wasn't there. And that's when we finally realized we did something, because this is not how the story is supposed to go. This isn't according to everything I learned from my own doctors. And now I am a doctor. It doesn't make sense. And then as a trainer, my body didn't make sense. Why do you look this good after having a baby? Nothing made sense except for the fact that we had changed something that altered the way my body worked. And so we both went to Carnegie Mellon. We're both scientists, and we took the time to really study everything that we changed about my diet. Because, sometimes people do something and they get a good result, so they just say, do what I did, but they don't even know, did everything I do make me better? Or maybe I got better in spite of some of these things. Maybe I got lucky. So we really went back and we reverse engineered the whole thing to make sure that we nailed down why. And what we realized is accidentally, between what I wanted and between what he knew about what to do with diets, we'd created the most anti-inflammatory diet possible that not only raised your metabolism to lose fat faster, but it actually allowed my body to repair itself. And we then took the time to reverse engineer it, to study and put people through the program. We only released it to the public when we could reproduce it every time. And at this point, gosh, it's been thousands of people who've reversed lupus, Sjogren's, scleroderma, multiple sclerosis, and as well as things like diabetes and heart failure, completely using nutrition. And we've been doing that for folks, and we do it together.
That was it. We didn't really know what we had until we started testing it. I remember you landed a gig where you got to speak for the Lupus Foundation in LA. And the whole deal was you were just going to tell your miraculous story of healing from lupus. And at the end, we were just going to kind of pitch our little science project that we're going to do and offer to anybody who was there, that if they want to sign up, we've got a 12-week experiment that we'd like to do on you, where we put you through what we think is a nutrition protocol to really help reverse the symptoms of lupus. And we had a lot of people sign up, and out of those people that signed up, the ones that actually did it, that followed our protocol all the way to the end, holy crap, they actually reversed their lupus, which was unbelievable. So that was the spark to it all. We finally we got it validated that, oh my goodness, we actually stumbled upon something amazing, and it works.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Well, can you ask this question?
Yeah, let's ask this question here.
It says, enjoying this conversation so much. Any good results with anyone with burning mouth syndrome? Have a friend who has this and lupus.
Yes, actually, we've had 2 people in our rapid recovery group who've had that and had it go away. So usually it's something that comes along with an alteration in your salivary glands. Sometimes people will have something called Sjogren's, or most people with autoimmune have it's kind of like a Chinese food thing, a little from column A, a little from column B. Like they have, that there's a mixture of symptoms. But often when there's not as much saliva being produced, people get very strange symptoms in their mouth, such as burning mouth syndrome. And we've had a couple people in the group who had that, where it went away, and they didn't even realize it till later. They went, wait a minute, I just realized that my mouth doesn't hurt anymore. So yeah, we had definitely.
The other night, I think I had burning mouth syndrome the other night. We were over at a friend's house, and she made us this tofu, and she used Frank's original hot sauce, like just poured all over it.
That is not the same.
I got rid of it just, by it just takes time. That's all you got to do. You got to stick with the protocol, give it the time, and lay off the hot sauce.
Now, what is the deal?
He came with jokes.
I know people that have had discoloration going on, almost like they get vitiligo or something. Mm-hmm. Is that something?
Well, vitiligo is autoimmune. I actually just recently worked with a 9-year-old girl who has lupus and vitiligo, and we did 4-week rapid recovery program together. And at the end of 4 weeks, she had repigmenting happening around her lips and around her forehead. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, I don't kid about stuff like this. No.
I mean, I think what the good part about it is that hearing this story gets you it's some hope.
It's hope.
Because there's certain things that people just say, no, there's nothing you can do.
Right.
When vitiligo comes in and, it's very devastating that you feel like this is just it, or you get lupus, this is just it, and I got to be on a bunch of medications, and I got to be this, and I got to be that. So let me ask you this. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
This is just a very strange off-the-top question, because my girlfriend and I, we were talking about this the other day. A kind of acquaintance, a friend of hers had gotten I guess what the herpes thing, herpes, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was saying, I bet that, because she's saying no, they say that you can manage it, but you can't get rid of it. So yes, something like that, huh?
Yes, you absolutely can. We've had people who have stopped having herpes outbreaks completely for years. I also have had 2 people who had they had abnormalities in their pap smears because of the cervical cancer happening from viral infection as well, right? And where they've completely cleared the virus and have normal pap smears for the first time in a decade. Yeah. I mean, and these are things, this is what's so mind-blowing to me. I'm a traditionally trained Western medical doctor. I did 3 years of genetic research, undergrad as well. And everything that I've learned through my own experience and the work that we do together has given me so much humility, because we know so much, or we think we do, and yet the body is so much smarter than we are.
Yes.
It is so much smarter than we are. And if we just take a step back and give it the right nutrition and also the right emotional treatment. In our rapid recovery group, we find that people who are happy in good relationships with good self-care, we add the nutrition, 10 days, symptoms can be gone. People who have difficult relationships, just depression, anxiety, all those kind of things, they get better much slowly. So we actually spend the time in our group to help them heal all their emotional wounds while we nourish them, so that they can get the same recovery. But that's what we've seen, is when you nourish your spirit and you nourish your body, it can heal itself. It knows what to do. Every cell in your body knows how to fix itself. But you have to give it the right tools. If you're giving it a burger and fries, it will stay sick forever. Even if you pour medicines on it, you might just, have less symptoms, but you'll stay sick. But when you hypernourish it, when you give it greens and omega-3s and you drink enough water and you stay away from inflammatory food, it actually knows what to do even after decades of illness.
Okay, well, we have so many questions pouring in, and we really love to help, to have as many answered. So Stephanie Tyree says, does someone with a suppressed immune system for medication heart transplant recipient who is now type 2 diabetic need to do this protocol differently than the average person?
Absolutely no. No, we had somebody with a heart transplant who did our group, and he had a heart transplant from sarcoid. There's a buildup of proteins in his, and it built up in his heart first. He needed a heart transplant, and then it was built up in his kidneys, and his kidneys were failing. And his kidneys went back to normal in our rapid recovery group, and he was able to lower his transplant medication, and he did the same protocol as everybody else.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh, can you read Olga's question?
We're always crying.
Yeah.
Because
Olga.
find out, you know.
Olga says, hello, great conversation. What about B12? Is raw and cooked allowed for the healing rapid recovery? So she's referring to our rapid recovery protocol. And we do it with raw foods because it actually, our raw protocol came about through my rapid fat loss diet, where the idea was, how do I get people to eat the most nourishing foods humanly possible? And I realized that the moment you start cooking foods, well, you start reducing the amount of nutrients in the food itself. So we're trying to get the most bang for the buck. So what would work to help people lose the greatest amount of fat in the shortest period of time also heals the body in the shortest period of time. So you definitely want to go raw.
So let me ask you
She asked
this
about
then.
B12
So-
also? There was something
And
about
she was
B12
asking
too.
about B12. So raw versus cooked. And then do you need B12?
Yeah, you do need B12. And that's something that you should just test. I know everybody has different ideas about how much B12 you need, but really, I just like to go by the test. If your B12 is normal, keep up what you're doing. Whatever supplement you're taking, or if you're doing nutritional use of 4 or 5, whatever it is, it's working out. If it's low, take the daily dose and, work with your doctor in the right dose. But we all do need B12. And since B12 comes from, bacteria that live in fecal matter, it's more commonly found in meat than in vegetables, since we triple wash our produce now. But yeah, that's just something that everybody should check. Even people who eat meat often are low in B12.
So let me ask a question. So you put them on basically what is a raw diet for the R&R. When all the numbers shift and they're feeling good, is it something that they can eventually go back to slowly eating other things, or should they do they remain raw for the rest of their lives?
Well, that depends on them. Most people like to add back cooked foods and stuff just for convenience and comfort. We do have some people that have stayed raw, and we're not doing any raw diet. I mean, there's some people who are raw that eat like 20 bananas a day. It's very specific. It's high in the greens, all right? High in omega-3s, high raw vegetables, fruits more for flavor, right? But there are some people who stay that way, but most people add back cooked food. And so for maintenance, we recommend that you do keep a high raw diet. Look at Babette. I know you have a high raw diet. That's why you have that glowing skin. When you eat high raw foods, you tend to have really glowy, healthy skin because you're so nourished, right? So the more nourished you are, the better. So we do about 75% raw to this day. And most of it's like we do our green smoothies. We give these recipes away for free for people who want to learn how to just add them to their diet. So we just do a lot of smoothies and salads. And then we have cooked food for dinner usually. Although sometimes we have salad for dinner. But that's great for maintaining great health.
Yeah, but when they slowly transition back, or at least part way, did that affect their health in any way?
So
not if they do it correctly. They usually feel not as energetic. When you eat lots of raw food, your energy is through the roof. And that's what normally happens in our group. Like, we're just finishing a group now and everyone's energy is super high. When you're nourished at that level, energy's through the roof. As soon as you add some cooked food, it's a step down. But usually their symptoms don't come back unless they have some kind of food sensitivity. So we do introduce them slowly, just in case they didn't even know they had a sensitivity. We very slowly introduce one thing at a time. Yeah.
Okay. And what can this do for someone with common variable immunodeficiency?
They're just challenging you with as many words as they can in there, right? You did great on that, by the way. Listen, some things are going to have a genetic component. Most diseases do. But when you nourish yourself the right way, what you're really doing is just optimizing your body's ability to do what it can. It's kind of like, picture yourselves like construction workers that are trying to fix something in your house. If you don't give them all the supplies, they're going to sit and play on their phone and nothing's happening, right? So you need to give them the supplies to fix everything. That's what's in the nutrition. And also the supplies to clean it all up. You don't want them leaving drywall all over the place, right? You got to be able to do, and that's what the anti-inflammatory immune system is, which a lot of people don't really know anything about. That's driven by omega-3s. So every step of this is really important to optimizing your health. And that's why even people who aren't sick can do this, and they're going to have just better health than others. You're not going to get sick as often. If you do get sick, it's over in a day instead of it taking weeks. It's really good for everything. There's no person where I'm like, not you. You don't need to be nourished.
No, I'm just saying, I don't get, people think that I'm joking. I don't take medicine. I had 2 root canals one day, in one day, because I don't go to dentists, and I said, you better do them all. And he was like, here, take this. I said, no, I'm good. And he says, you're going to need this. I was done. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's a psychological thing, but I stopped eating meat so long ago just because I had a cute boyfriend. But it worked. And my body really does not thrive on medication at all. But anyway, so you mentioned that at first you had tofu and soy products. At what point did you stop that for rapid recovery?
Well, listen, I never did stop it because I'm fine with tofu. Tofu and edamame are very healthy foods. They get a bad rap, but they're actually very health promoting foods. But I don't usually start people on them with rapid recovery now just because some people have a soy sensitivity. So we don't like to have variables in our program. We want everyone to get the same results.
Well, that too, I can answer that because I was doing the majority of the research on that. It actually turned out that out of everything that I was putting her on, because I created the diet for her, out of all the things I was putting her on, the tofu and the soybeans had the least amount of contribution to her healing, if it had any at all. So we realized that the tofu is useless for healing, and so were the soybeans. They were contributing next to nothing. So let's just get it out of the diet and instead put more of the other healing foods in, the green vegetables, the cruciferous vegetables, and let's see if we can get people to heal faster. Now realize it took her a little more than 3 months to fully reverse lupus. The protocol that we have now, which has no tofu or soybeans, we've got people that have completely reversed all of their lupus in less than 4 weeks. So
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So let's we get rid of the stuff that doesn't contribute.
Superfluous.
We get it out. Yeah. So I know some of you are going, oh man, I need a good reason to eat the tofu and soybeans, which you can, but I don't recommend it if you're trying to heal. If you've got a debilitating disease, you're trying to heal as quickly as possible. It just makes sense to get rid of the disease first, and then you can add in all those other foods that are kind of questionable.
Wow. Any success with cancer?
Yeah, it's a slippery thing to talk about because in the US, as a doctor, you cannot treat cancer legally unless you are using medication or surgery or chemotherapy, radiation. So we can't say that we do. I can say that people who have cancer have done our program and their health has improved. I had someone who had a visible tumor disappear off of her clavicle who had end-stage breast cancer. We've had multiple men reverse their PSA blood marker for prostate cancer. We had someone in our last group who had a positive marker for ovarian cancer, was terrified of it. And on week 5 of our group, she had it retested and it was below 30 is normal. It was 9. Wow. So she couldn't believe it. She came in for autoimmune disease and just happened to test that marker. So as I said, we make no claims here, but I can just tell you stories of different people who've done our program that have had that condition. And again, there has been research that shows, for example, how much nutrition affects whether or not you get cancer, right? They've shown that the most cancer fighting food there is cruciferous vegetables. Our program has people eating very high amounts of cruciferous vegetables, right? And there's certain things that stimulate cancer growth, meat, dairy, processed foods, things like that. Those are not in our plans. So it makes sense that, since our bodies are designed to naturally fight even cancer, because we have cancer cells that come up all the time, but our immune system takes care of it unless our immune system can't. And then it goes out of control. So I don't say that to replace any other treatments. I think that's a very personal journey people need to take about what they do. But I definitely think it's an important component of getting the best health you can with cancer or anything else.
Okay. Well, Kelly Jackson is one of our regulars who's on every Sunday. So we want to make sure.
She's on the corn chips.
Yeah, she's on it. What about corn? It's hard to get off the corn chips. I understand, girl. It's hard for me to get off olives and licorice. So whether it's GMO dehydrated, it's so inflammatory. Any suggestions?
Well, the good thing is you're not in denial about how bad it is for you. That's good.
Listen, we have become so dependent on food as not even not a source of nutrition, but a source of emotional support. It's the way we deal with problems, a bad day, and it's addiction too. I mean, that's why it's hard to change your diet, right? It's not just, oh, I'm supposed to eat this and not that. Thanks, guys, right? It doesn't work that way. That's why, like, my newest book, Goodbye Autoimmune Disease, the majority of the book is the psychological part of changing your diet. Because if you didn't read my first book, which was this short, and just do it, then there's something up here that's stopping you. Because we make it easy. I teach my protocol online for free with my classes. We have a free website with recipes. Like, it's all free. We don't hold anything back about what we do. We teach it all for free for people. And if you still didn't do it, it's something here, right? So what the corn chip issue is, I don't know, because we haven't gotten to know each other yet. Is it pure addiction where you just need to do something else to get your addiction fulfilled? Like Tom uses really aggressive exercise to get a dopamine rush to get people off of the foods they're addicted to. That works really well. Friendship, love, doing things that just make you feel really happy. All of those can stimulate those dopamine pathways. And I find a lot of people, they're in a relationship with, they're trying to get a really fulfilling relationship with what's on their plate instead of having a fulfilling relationship with themselves and with other people. So we need to stop trying to be in a relationship with our food and get fulfilled by our food. Instead, we need to get nourished by our food and seek out fulfillment out there in our lives.
Now, Kelly, if you're not sick with the disease that you're trying to heal, let's say that you're relatively healthy, but you're still trying to kick this corn chip addiction. I'll tell you, you're not alone. I mean, for a lot of the clients I used to have when I had my boot camps, for some women it was cookies. Other people, it was potato chips instead of corn chips. Other people, it was candy. And it's all the same. Your brain is addicted to that food. So the way we beat it, the way I would always beat it every time was first, I wouldn't take it away from that person at all. I focus on, let's raise the metabolism up so that the harm that it's causing is minimized or just completely eliminated. Because if I can get you healthy enough, or like imagine for a sec, if I made the majority of your diet every single day, like 1 to 2 pounds of fresh, beautiful, healthy vegetables, you have a handful of corn chips, that's nothing. It's you don't even notice it. It's a scratch. It does nothing to you, right? And what I would do also is then hit you up with a lot of exercise, because exercise is also something that is addictive. The more you do it, the more you crave it.
Chef Babette knows that. You should see her Instagram.
You know that firsthand.
She's ripped. Show the guns. Show the guns. Come on. I want to see the guns. Oh,
bam,
bam.
Oh, man.
She's up at like 3 a.m. or something.
Excuse me, is the NRA in town? Oh, my goodness. Holy cow. So what was I talking about? I was just mesmerized by the double barrel shotgun you just pulled out there.
But just about if you're not sick.
So what I was talking about, so if you're not sick, right, you make sure that you're adding in the ingredients that you're missing. And that's really high doses of raw vegetables, get your omega-3s in, high water intake. And if you have some corn chips, well, in a diet like that, the corn chips do very little to you in a bad way. And then on top of that, if you want to replace the corn chips with a better, more healthy addiction, use exercise. So you start doing exercise, do it hard, lift weights, sweat. And what happens is interesting. I remember I tagged along with Brooke one year to an addiction medicine conference. And I learned some stuff that blew my mind. I learned in many ways how the mind becomes addicted to things. And I thought, wow, I can really use this in helping people achieve their fitness goals, because addiction is one of the biggest barriers that keep people from being able to achieve weight loss. You know, muscle building, food addicts love that because I'm like, yeah, eat more. They're like, I will happily, right? But for weight loss, it's like one of the biggest struggles that people have. So the best thing to do is don't fight the addiction. Instead, replace the addiction with something else and let that addiction to the corn chips just kind of naturally fall away if you can get addicted to something else, which exercise works just the same way. Because in your brain, the way the addiction works is you've got these neurotransmitters, little chemicals that go back and forth, and that's what causes that really amazing high sensation that you get when you eat corn chips. Well, exercise has the same effect. When you do it long enough and hard enough, after a couple weeks, you start craving it, right? You know what that's like when you know you're addicted to exercise. When the one day you don't exercise, you are irritable and all you can think about is getting to the gym. That's withdrawal, right? The same way withdrawal feels like anything else that you don't get. What's great is your brain only seems to be addicted to like one major thing at a time. So get yourself addicted to exercise. And then what happens is you just stop feeling like corn chips. It's an amazing thing. I've used that technique and strategy on all of my clients, and it works like magic.
Yeah. Again, that's if you're not sick.
Yeah,
if you are sick, any bite that makes you sicker is going to take you away from your recovery. But even for people who are sick, that's why we give the smoothie recipes and stuff. We're like, at least get what you're missing. And when you get what you're missing and you start getting nourished, you start taking better care of yourself, you feel better. It's a lot easier to let go of those addictions.
Oh, you go, Kelly. She just wrote, oh, thank goodness. I lose motivation after I eat them and get sleepy. I'm going to take your advice, and I'm going to work out more starting after this show. Good for you.
Yay.
Can you guys read Vanessa's question? Because I'm going to mess up that word.
Any success with retroperitoneal fibrosis? No, we have not had someone do our group for that. We've had people do it for interstitial fibrosis, and we've had people who had it in their lungs who've done really well, but not yet retroperitoneal. So you'll have to let us know how it goes.
What about Tammy's question?
Well, hypernourishment, help with numbness in the face? Well, it really depends why you have numbness in the face. Like there's sitting too close to an air conditioner, right? And then there's like actual nervous disorders, trigeminal neuralgia. Well, that'll make you more have an issue with the muscles in your face. But there's different reasons why people would have that. So I don't actually know why you have the numbness. But then again, the great thing about using nutrition is even if you don't know what's causing your illness, you can still nourish yourselves enough to work on fixing it. And we've had a lot of really people with undiagnosed things get better anyway because they nourish themselves correctly. So there's no downside. But I don't have enough information to say, oh, yes, we've had someone heal from that. So.
Okay. And, guys, I know Tiani is standing by, but unfortunately, we may have to go a little bit longer because our numbers are raising. Normally, people come on and then they go off. But these numbers keep going up, and I want to make sure that we kind of fit in. So, Tiani, hang in there.
Some of these questions are so good.
And I know everyone's trying to figure out, and I'm so happy that, our little small, well, I'm going to say small today, but large next week, platform is bringing information to people to be able to, help them. So
this is the greatest blessing of our lives. After me getting better has been giving the gift back. That's why we always say yes to sharing and helping as much as we can.
Can you read that next question?
Yep, I have local scleroderma on my face and lost the collagen. Can this diet help get collagen back? We have had really amazing results with scleroderma.
One of your most famous case studies was a scleroderma case study.
Yeah.
David Bridges.
Yep.
And from Long Beach, California.
Yeah, and he had scleroderma, lupus, and Sjogren's, and he had such bad scleroderma on his knuckles. They all ripped open because the skin gets hard. Scleroderma, your skin gets so hard, it's like turning to stone. And they had all ripped open, and he was getting infections in his bones. And right before I started with him, his doctor said the only thing they could do was amputate his fingers.
No.
Oh yes, and he was a young man in his 20s, and his skin healed completely. And he actually just won an art show in Los Angeles, California, with those same fingers that they almost took from him. Oh, I was going to cry. I still stay in touch. His mama carries Goodbye Lupus and his before and after pictures in her purse. So wherever she goes, she's like, "This is my David. You got to do this thing." But we had someone recently in our rapid recovery group with just scleroderma, and she had it so severe she couldn't even open her mouth. She couldn't raise her eyebrows up. She had just this, she could barely move. And so she joined our group, and this is pretty late stage scleroderma. And she had doctors that she would see every week and physical therapists try to keep her moving because literally it's like turning into the Tin Man. They stop being able to move, no elasticity. And after a few weeks on our program, they retested her skin and she had gained back 20% elasticity in her skin.
Yep.
And they said that was impossible. They'd never seen it before. By the end of our group, she could wrinkle her forehead and open her mouth. And she said, when I was young, I never thought I'd be happy about wrinkles, but I'm so happy she had facial expressions again. So that was a really incredible thing to see, and it was startling to everyone following her. They were all so excited to see that happen. So yes, what we've seen is you can get back skin elasticity. You can get, people look like they've had a facelift a lot of times just because there's like that hard red skin goes away and they start looking really nourished and feeling better. But that's a scary disease, and it's so gratifying to help people with that one.
Oh yeah.
Wow, this is so amazing.
What's great is then they follow up with us and they tell us how much better their life has gotten. They're able to finally do the things that made them feel like a human being again.
Yeah, and she had a young girl that she was raising by herself. And so to be able to realize that she could take control of this again was a big deal. Yeah, it was.
Now, let's answer this question about the caffeine.
So Arlene, caffeine, good or bad? Whoa.
It's delicious.
It is delicious. I can definitely speak on caffeine. Yeah. I have personal experience about that. When what was odd is I did a lot of schooling. I did a lot of certifications in fitness. I had like up to 10 different fitness certifications, and I got a master's degree in exercise science. And all my nutrition classes, they always talked about caffeine, but they never said anything bad about caffeine. All they taught us was that caffeine is amazing. It increases aerobic performance by 10%. It can actually help you get better personal records in the gym. These were my master's level nutrition classes saying this stuff. So I've always thought of caffeine as a good thing. So I would drink it every single day. Then one day, I remember one of my favorite clients I signed up were two clients, these two guys. They're hysterical. They're the president and the CEO of a company that makes Monster energy drink. And they would hook me up for free with cases of Monster Energy. And so first of all, that has a lot of caffeine, like 180 milligrams of caffeine, right? But they made it very clear to me. It still is less than the amount in a Starbucks coffee, but not by much. So I would have one in the morning. I would have another one in the middle of the day, and maybe another one somewhere around lunchtime. So about sometimes 3 a day. And I was amped. Like I would have one before my workout. And I have some of the best workouts ever. But what was interesting, and I didn't even notice it, I would want to just fall asleep all weekend long. It didn't matter what was going on. I was just tired all the time.
Fall asleep sitting up.
And I thought it was just because I had to get up so early as a personal trainer. I had to get up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to go meet with my first client because people they want to train early, 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 6 o'clock, right? So I thought that was the only reason why I'm tired all the time is I get up so early. Here's what happened. One day I got the flu. And it was one of those flus where I couldn't eat anything and I could not drink anything, especially not a Monster Energy drink. And this flu, it took me about a week to recover from that. And I remember finally being able to go back to work. And I went to work in the morning and I realized I forgot to grab my Monster Energy. And I thought, oh no. When I got to work, I thought I was going to be so tired. My energy levels were perfectly normal. Around like noon, 3 o'clock, I realized, I didn't have my Monster Energies. I'm not getting them. I'm going to start to dip because I was used to that. Didn't happen. I was full of energy. I couldn't believe it. And then around in the nighttime, I'd fall asleep, no problem. And then weekends, I had more energy than I could ever remember. And that's when I realized, holy cow, I had finally gotten over a caffeine addiction that I didn't even know that I had. Wow. And I was so much better off being off the caffeine completely versus with it. And I remember learning later that somebody described, David Avocado Wolf, I was listening to an interview one time and he described it so perfectly. He said, caffeine is like an energy loan shark.
Yes.
So what's going to happen is you're going to drink that caffeine and that caffeine is going to lend you a nice shot of energy and you're going to feel it, but it's going to demand the same amount back plus interest.
Yeah.
And that's going to add up.
Around that same time, because at that time, that's when energy drinks became really, really popular. And I started seeing it in my practice at the time where people were coming to me with severe exhaustion. And all the people with severe exhaustion were having multiple caffeinated beverages a day. Sometimes they were taking caffeine pills. They were taking 5-hour energy plus energy drinks. And so I started to see that. And I still see that today. People they call it adrenal fatigue, chronic fatigue. But a lot of these people talk about the loan shark. They've been pushing that button on their adrenals and getting all that, loner energy for so long, they got nothing left. So high amounts of caffeine, the moral of the story is high amounts of caffeine are not good for your body. Now, a cup of coffee a day, we have not seen that be a problem. If people have 1 cup of coffee, they're not putting sugar in it, they're not putting dairy in it. We've seen people have that and still be able to reverse their diseases, do fine, but it's just that little bit. And regular coffee, not like the extra caffeine Starbucks version of it, but like the regular kind that has 80 to 90 grams of caffeine, not or milligrams.
Yeah, I'm one of the weird people who've never even tasted coffee.
Well, and then I just want to ask you one question. Somebody asked about eczema. Now, I grew up with eczema.
And so did my son.
And once I got off all the dairy, the refined sugar and stuff, the eczema was gone.
Yeah,
dairy and sugar.
I can almost answer that. But we need to bring Tiana
Let's
in
bring
for
Tiana
a second.
You guys aren't going anywhere yet.
Stay right here.
So, because our little baby.
Wait, she's gone. She's here.
She's gone. There she goes. Hey, Tiana.
How are you guys?
So what is the new find for this week?
So Tiana is our little, she brings us tidbits. So
Yeah, I gave you the tidbits on the street.
I feel like I should be waving to you like this. Hey, Tiana, how you doing down there?
Am I supposed to? Yeah, how you doing right there?
So what did you find this week?
Today, I want to talk about matcha. So I'm sure you guys know all about matcha and its health benefits and whatnot. And I didn't know this, but apparently 1 serving of matcha equals 10 cups of normal green tea antioxidant-wise. And so it's full of so many antioxidants for you. And I know you guys talked about cancer clearing benefits of the juicing. And they say that matcha has that same benefits of helping clear cancer and all that good stuff. And so, but the one thing is I found that people should avoid it who have acid reflux because it can cause that even more so. And heartburn. Is there an echo?
No, you're okay, baby.
You sound good on our side.
But yeah, and so, yeah, people who also are using blood thinners must avoid it because it reduces the clotting effects of their blood and so of their blood platelets, so they'll bleed more.
Wow.
So would you guys have anything to say about that? Like the matcha? Do you know anything?
We have no experience with matcha.
We only comment on things we have direct experience with. We have too much respect for people to make stuff up. So if we haven't tested it and said this group tried matcha, this one didn't, and say what happened, then we don't comment on it. So
good. That's good. That's great. So guys, if you want to try some, go out and try it. I don't,
Yeah, but and then too, when you talk about acid reflux, when Tiani first brought this to us, I was saying people suffer with acid reflux when they miscombine their foods most of the time. You've got some bad combinations going, and then you suffer with heartburn. And that is why I think it's so asinine that we eat and then we have to medicate ourselves after we've eaten. That is incorrect. No species should eat and then have to take medication.
So no species but us do.
Oh yeah, when you see the commercials for the acid commercials, you always see a guy like at a truck stop eating a big cheeseburger, and then it takes his pill.
But then when you start taking medication, you run the risk of the medication not being good.
And we see that now. People have been on acid blockers for 20 years. Now we realize, it actually really messes up the gut. And it affects the bacteria, which then makes them more likely to have things like autoimmune disease. That's the thing about Western medicine, which I love. I think Western medicine has a lot of miraculous things to it. But one of the parts about it that's a little bit too much ego is every time a new medicine is created, they think it's the savior, and they just put everybody on it. And then 20 years later, we find out, maybe that's causing some problems.
And guess what, Brooke? Not even 20 years.
Not even 20 years.
Right now, Zantac, they have a big lawsuit over Zantac. And what is that?
People have been on that for a while now.
They've been on it, huh?
So let me ask you a question. Let's tie it in with what's going on today. Like, have you had any people dealing with COVID or know they have? And I mean, I know, how does that tie in with this virus that we're dealing with today?
You got a great story around COVID.
Which one? We have a few of them now. I know there's some smoothie shredders in this group, so we have a free community called Smoothie Shred, and I see some people who are here from our community where we had one woman post in our community that her and her best friend are on our program, and their husbands both got COVID. They nursed and took care of their husbands. They came up positive for antibodies, never got sick. So we thought that was pretty cool. I'm not saying that this is a cure for COVID. I'm saying it makes your immune system work better. So you have a better chance of being able to fight infections. We have someone in our group who just found out that she had it, but she's been doing really, really well. I mean, when you want to have a healthy immune system, this is the way to go. And actually, I had somebody who I worked with gosh, it was probably a year and a half ago, who's an emergency room doctor with lupus. And, you know, when doctors get sick, they come to me, because if you want to know someone who doesn't like taking pills, it's your doctor. They don't want to take them. Doctors, nurses, and pharmaceutical reps, they're all in our group. They're like, I'm not taking that. So she got sick actually, and her husband found it. No, it's the truth. Yeah. So she did our rapid recovery group right away when she called me from the car after getting her diagnosis. And I was like, come into our group, we'll take care of you. So her lupus has been gone for a year. Normal labs, feeling great, but she's working in the ER. So last February, all of a sudden, right before we knew, like, you know, we didn't really know if it was here yet. And so some people got sick, but they didn't get tested because it was like February or early March, something like that. So her whole family got a really bad flu, really sick. She had a little bit of a cough for like 2 days and felt fine. And she was the one that had lupus, and she was okay. The downside of it, though, is because of the COVID, COVID causes so many complications. She ended up getting a blood clot from the COVID and not from the lupus. So she handled the infection just fine, but then later down the road developed a complication, because COVID can cause anything from heart attacks, strokes, kidney failure, and things like cold symptoms. I mean, it can be anything. So it's a cautionary tale that on the one hand, you can beat back the infection better when you've got good nutrition, but we should still be careful, because we still don't know enough about this new virus. It's still new. In medical years, this is really brand new, and we all still have to be careful and protect ourselves at the same time.
You know what somebody just said? Oh my God, I'm learning so much tonight.
I am too.
I'm so glad.
Every week. Okay, let's try to add a few more, bring in a few more questions here, so that, okay, maybe not. Girl, don't ask me technology. Oh, little Tiana, you got smaller. Hi, Tiana.
she got smaller.
Stevia, or this is acceptable?
You are so crazy. Did you see that word? She said it's stevia or
we don't use any artificial sweeteners. You know, there's a lot of reasons why. One, artificial sweeteners actually activate your drive for sweetness and sugar. So it makes, because you feel like you're getting, your brain registers sweetness, but it receives no nutrition. So it actually can activate hunger. So people who use artificial sweeteners actually tend to overeat bad foods more. Two, anything that's kind of a chemical outside of the body. I mean, I had one lady said, I eat a stevia leaf grown in my garden. Fine. But if you're getting stevia powder, it's been processed. So we don't use anything processed in our programs. We don't use it ourselves. When it first came out, when stevia first came out, I looked into it because, you know, I'm very interested. I want to know what things are. And when it came out, it said that they did a trial on rats where they gave rats stevia, and the male rats became sterile.
Oh,
so I went, well,
snap.
Yeah, I went, you know, we're mammals, they're mammals. I mean, when my boys are teenagers, maybe we'll start using stevia. I don't know. But right now,
stevia cakes, stevia pancakes, stevia
right now we don't do that.
What's this, Mama? Stevia day. We're gonna have stevia week. Wow.
Well, first tell them what Heidi Sosa
said.
Hi, Dr. G.
Hi, Heidi.
Hi, Heidi.
Yes. Okay, so one other question here. Do you know of No,
I don't even know that one. Nope. Babette's losing her mind.
Pycnogenol.
Can you, Terrah, can you just say it again?
Pycnogenol.
I'm not saying it. You laughing. Wait a minute. Pycnogenol.
No, it's pycnogenol.
Hemina. No, I'm not aware of that one. Sorry.
Sorry, that's
what a beautiful photograph.
So that's COVID. That might be something new that they're selling out. Well, let's tell them how they can find, because we're a little bit over, but we still add capacity with people who don't want to leave. So
I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
She said Pycnogenol.
Oh, look, she sounded out. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I don't have any information on that. I wish I did. So people who are looking for us, I mean, as I said, we give out free recipes and free videos teaching people whether you want to learn about like workouts or nutrition. If you go to smoothieshred.com, I don't know if we can type it into the comments. I don't know, smoothieshred.com. then people can go there. You can get free recipes and stuff, and you don't need to give us any information. There's no like enter your name and you'll get it, or your email.
Go to the website, and we have a link on there that says smoothie recipes. It's right there. There's no opt-in or anything like that required. That's just right there for you. And then also there's a video library too. That's just an immense resource of all the information that teaches you the fundamentals of how to do the smoothies, make the smoothies, and there's workout ideas for those of you who want to get fit.
How to shop.
You're going to find, and you're also going to find an archive of every video that Brooke has ever done on the topic of health and autoimmunity.
That's great.
And so for people who do want to opt in, there's an option there, but that's for people who want to join our Facebook community. So we have an awesome Facebook community where the only requirement is that you're working on adding the smoothies. So you're adding in hypernourishment, adding exercise to your life. But people don't have to be vegan. They don't have to have, they can still be in the learning process. But we have a really huge community there, and there's so many success stories every day.
You want to go there. Anybody who's sick wants to go there. I mean, I remember when Brooke was still sick with lupus, and I, as her husband, I felt so alone. I didn't know anybody who was going through the fear that I was going through every single day. If you could imagine what that must have been like, I mean, it's every day. I don't know if that's going to be the day that she dies or not. I don't know if that's going to be the day that I find out that her blood work is showing something really bad and that she's going to have just a few more weeks or months to live. This is the living hell that I had to go through every single day and worry. And I just wish I had a community. And I think what I realize now, Brooke and I, we've been working with people for so long now. We've healed thousands of people all over the world for free, and also through our groups that we run. And one thing I know is a lot of people feel alone in this. They feel alone in their disease, or they feel that there's no hope, because I often find that people that are sick socialize with other people that are sick. And so they see that as the normal, and there really is no way out in their perspective.
Support groups, everyone's
but
sick,
in
getting
our
sicker.
world, every single day of the week, somebody fully reverses their autoimmune disease. In our Smoothie Shred community of over almost 25,000 now, somebody every single day of the week new is posting, oh my gosh, I just got rid of all of my lupus or my Sjogren's or my scleroderma, or I just got my blood labs. Oh my gosh, they're perfect. I can't believe it. I never thought this could happen. This is every single day of the week. So this is normal. So if you want to become healthy, hang around people that are getting healthy every single day. If you want to be fit, hang around nothing but fit people. And guess what's going to happen? It's an interesting law, but you're going to become just like the people that you hang out with.
Yeah, friends of mine, Tashina Ono, she's an actress on The Neighborhood, the series The Neighborhood, and and her sister has lupus, so they have a foundation called We Win, the We Win Foundation, and similar story. I'm not sure where she is in her lupus, journey, but I know that she wasn't able to have a kid, and she just had a healthy, bouncy baby boy. So things of that, being around people when you feel like there's no hope, and no matter what you're doing, it helps to inspire you, because all you got to do is see that one person has been able to move through it. It gives you hope and ability, to look at it differently. That there's possible, because when you're only around everybody going, oh Lord, this is doom, 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 you feel doom.
Well, and when you're sick, every doctor tells you there's no hope.
There's no hope.
Everything you read will tell you there's no hope. I mean, I had that times a million, because I read all the textbooks going through my medical training that said I was going to die from something bad. Every single chapter was, if you have lupus, you could get this, you could get that. I'm like, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks. So, I've had so many people just break down crying with me that I'm the first person that gave them hope. And hope is the first step to healing, right? We can't, if we're hopeless, we don't do anything for ourselves. We have to always hold on to hope with everything we have. And that's when people say, oh, don't give false hope. I'm like, there's no such thing. Hope is everything. And when you get to surround yourself and see person after person who is getting their health back, getting their lives back, that hope level goes up higher and higher. Mm-hmm. And so many people we've helped, they've made videos about their experiences and shared them. I have, I'm going to be posting up my free classes coming up this week again for anyone who's following Goodbye Lupus on Instagram, or if you're in Smoothie Shred or my Goodbye Lupus Facebook page. You'll see I pop up, I put them online. It's 5 hours of education. I do Q&As to help people for free. I just come on, I have a Q&A coming up that you can sign up for in the class, and I spend hours online teaching people. But in the classes, you see one full class is like 90 minutes of just case after case of people who have gotten their health back from so many diseases. And I cry while teaching the class because I can't help it. Like every person who gets better, that's another life that came back, right? It's not just symptoms gone. It's a person living again, getting married, going on vacation, doing normal things, right? So I think that stories are so important and sharing. And that's one of the things we love about our community is that people will post and go, check me out. I'm standing up out of my walker today all by myself, or look at me. I just reversed my high cholesterol or my lupus antibody. It's extraordinary. So
smoothieshred.com, that's where you go to get our community. But if you're sick, or if you have someone, a loved one or someone you care about who's sick, then you want to go to goodbyelupus.com. And it's named after Brooke's best-selling book, Goodbye Lupus.
And that's for people who actually want to work with us.
It's down in the chat, so just scroll through. I have two more things I want to address this, where people didn't know that vitiligo was an autoimmune issue. And just hearing this today, I didn't even know that. You know, I don't know what I don't have to deal with a lot of times, but this has been so informative. This one too, this is making me cry. Just found you guys a few weeks ago and watch your videos daily to stay motivated. I've started the green smoothies and going vegan and have so much more energy and can already move so much better just from those changes. I'm trying to beat RA. Thank you all. Thank you for all you're doing and have done. I love you guys. Well, thank you guys so much, because you know what?
Oh, good.
If the small changes that we can offer is just sitting here, some days like today when I only had 2 hours of sleep and all I could think of was put on glasses because you're not putting on makeup. I'm just so nobody has to see that my eyes look beat up. But you know, and then I got fed by sitting here today. You know what I mean? And the importance of what goes in your body and also what goes in your mind and what goes in your spirit. I'm sorry, we just cut Tiani out.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You have to find when you have to find books and things. If you don't have groups, so you don't want to go find a book that you read that you pick up when you feel like you can't go through, or find a support. There's just that one friend who you know will give you what you need, not just what they think you want. You know what I mean?
And even what you expose yourself to on social media. You know, every single day on my Instagram, I always post something that's either informative or inspiring to keep people going. And I've just gotten so many people writing to me saying that you're the one positive place I can go to on social media where I always know I'm going to get uplifted. You know, because it can be difficult. You go online and then you see all these people, they're posting pictures of their meds and their IVs or negative stuff or angry stuff. And it can be an assault on your heart and on your spirit. And so you got to make sure that you are paying attention to the things that uplift you and trying not to overexpose yourself to the negativity out there, because it has an effect on you, your physical health too.
And physical health, and as well, making sure that you are not addicted to that situation.
True.
Because
emotions can be addictive.
To that energy, that negativity, and we don't even know how to move beyond it. You know, one of the things, and I'm not jumping, one of the things that helped me was finding a book, and I found this gentleman, Joe Dispenza. He has this book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. But he talks about how the brain and chemicals and all that stuff happens, and why we keep being drawn to things, because it becomes a chemical thing. So you got to make sure you're eating, your mind, your spirit, you're exercising. When all those pieces go together, you can really start to move out of what is what I call your blueprint into rewriting your script of life.
Yes. So I'd like to just say to all three of you, thank you so much for this information. This has been just an amazing episode of Sunday Bites and Tidbits. And for everybody out there, if you are dealing with any type of an invasive illness, do not refer to that illness as yours. It is not your cancer. It is not your diabetes. It is not your lupus. Right. Those illnesses are invaders. And it is the lupus that you're getting rid of. It is the cancer that is getting the hell out of your space. So do not claim this as being yours, because it's not yours. They're invasive. We love you guys. You're helping so many people, Tiani. You do not know. This is so wonderful what you do for us every single week.
You come back, because every week I've learned something. And I don't have to look it up because I'm too lazy.
And that is why, to all of the people that are tuning in, tell your family, tell your friends about Sunday Bites and Tidbits. We have a good time. We laugh a lot, but we're about the business too. We're going to get out of here today because I got to drive all the way back to LA.
All the way back to LA. She's 20 minutes away.
But you know she gets up early to work out.
Huh?
You get up early to work out.
He's talking about he get up at 4, and I'm like, I wake up at 2 o'clock every day. I start my day.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
She gets up at 2 to work out before she starts the restaurant.
Wow.
You didn't sleep today. You only got 2 hours.
Because I was working.
Yeah, work.
There you go.
But anyway,
Look at all that energy she has.
Oh, she's got tons of energy.
You must be drinking that matcha.
I want to thank our sponsor, the Black Vegan Social. This is their logo. I'm sorry, I couldn't figure out how to keep them both up at one time. And this is a Jane Unchained production, and that's their logo to make sure everybody's happy. We want to thank you guys so much. And our audience, thank you guys so much for being, for participating and asking questions. And we hope we got as many in as we answered as many as we could, and we hope we answered yours. If not, then you have to go to their page and then you can
ask her. Yeah, ask him.
Ask them.
Yeah, ask them.
Thank you, Tiani. We love you. Thank you, Brooke.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting us.
It was a joy. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have to have you back. All righty.
Bye. Bye, Tiani.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
This is such a good show.
Yes.
We were tired.
We were both so tired. We were like this. I kept asking her, are you okay? Are you okay? Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in.
You guys are the best.
Next week, we're going to have another, we're going to really start gearing it more towards really great information that you guys can, sometimes it's hard. So if you know of anyone who you think would benefit from being on our show, please let us know. And we, shoot us an inbox.
Take care of yourself out there. Make sure you have either your green smoothies or your green juice. And what else?
We'll see you next Sunday.
No, we love you.
We love you. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Good job, Terrah. Okay, there we go. Let's go back into all of our people. Oh, I didn't log out. So you got to end broadcast, Terrah.